We've got one more for you. It's going to be a platinum game between Lazybear and OpiWrites. The first one was live. This one's from back in week 7, but it's going to be fun nonetheless.
Yeah, technically it's week 7. That's when it's going to go down as, but there's some scheduling issues in Platt. Yeesh had to drop. I understand our esteemed host Lazybear had to move, and Platt, obviously being understanding gentleman, accommodated that. So a lot of these matches were played late or out of order, and that is the case here. So even though this is week 7, it was actually played very, very recently, and it is effectively the last match for both players. In actually chronologically, in real life, this was the last match they both played. And Lazybear, since he is going to get a forfeit for his second Yeesh match, this means that if he does not lose, he will finish an undefeated season in Platinum. Granted, that undefeated season will involve something like 5 draws in 10 matches. But it is undefeated. It's not perfect. It's undefeated, which is, let's be honest, still pretty impressive.
It's still a heck of an achievement.
Yeah, but that is a lot of draws. I'm going to have to check. I think that's pretty darn close to the record. Congratulations.
It's a lot of draws, yes.
It's a lot of draws. It's a lot of draws. Oh, man. OpiWrites, meanwhile, already eliminated heading into this match from postseason contention because only the top 2 in Platinum go. Just the victim of marginal loss after those first 2 wins. Platt is just absolutely brutal, and the individual matches have often turned on so little. It's felt like, little baby Diamond, frankly. It's been as good and as close as Diamond normally is. But I know OpiWrites a little bit, and I can tell you he would like nothing more than to wreck Lazybear's undefeated season here at the end.
Well, let's see what happens. OpiWrites versus Lazybear. Have we got the draft?
Yep, ready to go.
All right. Oh, I'm looking forward to this. This is going to be good. Starting things out, OpiWrites bans out Aquarium. Lazybear bans out Terrace.
Really? He banned Aquarium? Are you sure? That's not a mistake?
We're sure he banned Aquarium.
Okay.
It says Aquarium. It says Aquarium on Opie's side under the banned column.
I am being unbelievably sarcastic. Yes, of course. After Lazybear's spy-nanigans during Aquarium last time, and then did it again to Ryu, actually, in the match before this one. OpiWrites says, I could try to fight water with fire, or whatever we want to say analogy-wise. Instead, I'm just not going to look at that stupid shark at all. I'm just going to get rid of it and take my chances anywhere else. And boy, I'm going to imagine Lazybear was expecting that.
So after a restriction of KN on Opie's side and Ballroom on Lazy's side, we wind up with Redwoods picked on the double for Opie and Balcony picked on the double for Lazybear.
Yeah. Lazybear, man after my own heart. One of the other people who likes to double Balcony at least occasionally. It's like you, me, and Wodar, Lazy. I think that's pretty much it. Everybody else just singles it sometimes now and then, or more likely bans it. But you can see Lazybear getting his practice in on these Softail venues, and Opie is all about the 4/8s.
Yeah, and Opie picks up the restricted Ballroom as the single. Lazybear picks up High Rise 3 of 5 to finish it up.
I can't wait to see what happens here. I particularly can't wait to see Opie with nothing to lose trying to wreck Lazybear's perfect season.
It's gonna be a show, starting things out with Lazybear on the spy, OpiWrites on the sniper. Ladies and gentlemen, trees in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
I thought for sure you were going to say Tree 2-1, but there we go. I said it so you didn't have to. Now you have plausible deniability.
Well played, sir.
Was it, though? I mean, even I'm not giving myself credit for that one.
Slow start, though. Lots of cast members in relatively inaccessible positions. Lazybear just sort of watching the party, waiting for an opportunity, and the seduction target is the first one to give it. So, in conversation, we go with her. It is a green test for exactly 50%.
And Lazy's actually played a fair bit of Redwoods already this season. It's been doubled against him twice, I think, 8 total games. It's sort of, again, just sort of the chaos venue, but I can see a meta slowly emerging. I'm just surprised that OpiWrites thought a guy named Bear would be uncomfortable in the woods.
Oh, no.
Don't worry, I'm almost out.
So right now it looks like Lazybear's just hanging out waiting for the timer flirt, trying to lay as low as possible during the opening moments of this game.
And no surprise, OpiWrites keeping disproportionate emphasis on the bug. He is moving around constantly. He is not letting his camera stay still, except to zoom in very, very briefly to guard against reverse bugs. But he is watching bug.
And the 2 flirt comes off with a second green test for another 50%. That's seduction done with 2 minutes left to play.
And that'll really help, because this is sort of like a lot of those other venues where we talk about where if you can get to the third mission without suspicion, it's actually pretty easy to get away with the 1 hardtail, especially if you're brazen about it. You can afford to be, because sometimes things are just not seen. 2 flirts, I would say, disproportionately valuable on Redwoods compared to most venues.
And we go with the double agent.
Banana bread.
The contact comes off. Basically nothing as far as lowlights go. Literally nothing as far as lowlights go. Was that a perfect contact?
Well, except for the fact that the SDA was at a shelf, and OpiWrites has noticed and highlit the only conversation that could have a reel. Absolutely great reaction from OpiWrites to make the most of what otherwise would have been a backbreakingly good contact.
Yeah, that is
solid.
Unstatably big.
Yes, that's a really good recognition there. And BB is really interesting on this venue because you can't guard against splits or anything like that. You can't be confident about who is in or out at all because so much is blocking you. You can't get that snapshot, that mental snapshot of the entire venue the moment it goes off. You can't do that.
Into the bar we go for a fingerprint and a delegate. So jury's still out on whether we plan to make use of the latter, but the print might be useful. That said, we only have 30 seconds left to play, so the delegate does happen. It's almost forced at this point.
Printed Green's books, too.
Put down a print.
Yep, and there's a briefcase there, too, and I think either one of them might work. If we're not immediately shot for the delegate, I think we just win.
I think it's got to be the briefcase because we still have drink in hand. Here's the print. Print is away. Purloin is away. 5 seconds left on the countdown and no reaction from OpiWrites. That is Lazybear picking up game number 1.
That's just a pretty spy game. And the fact that he accomplishes missions with 1 second left, really, really nice. Great pacing. Good job, Lazybear. I know you can hear me.
Thanks, man. Yeah,
I'm not going to talk about you like you're not here. It's a great game.
Yeah, it was hard to shoot a difficult print too. As well. Like, I respect the hold, to be honest.
Yeah, I think I agree with that. Like, it's possible that just because he lost, it doesn't mean it was the wrong decision. Are you really going to credit that there? Should you credit that there? And how many sieve shots in the long run will you take instead if you're crediting difficults on a place like Redwoods? It's hard to say. You put Opie in a difficult position and 1-0.
On to the second. Opie on the spy side this time. In 3, 2, 1, playing it. OpiWrites really chasing the seduction target early on. Gets immediately bails after that 51% on the flirt. The bug with the wrong arm coming on the way to the back. Talk about wanting to ruin Lazybear's perfect season. He's not slowing down at all.
Are we sure this isn't Falcon hit again? My God. Yeah, 69% in the flirt now. Bug is already done. The beginning of the arm swing was visible, but come on, it's Redwoods. He would have had to catch the very beginning, nothing else. And by the way, no surprise, OpiWrites does tend to like green dress for that good walking bug.
Absolutely flying. There's the banana split, the contact, and immediately stepping away. The swap! The green swap at the green bookcase.
As green dress. I think we made this joke before. We made the joke before, but that's not.
There's the last flirt done.
Wow, while it's pending, can this really get shot here? Even if you're all over the swap, are you really going to shoot here?
3 in a bookcase, sort of. Here's the take.
Wii U question mark? Oh,
there's
my goodness.
The swap.
This is just
sees it. Oh, he's trying to decide. It's one of the two. He just takes the highlight, decides it can't be done yet, and Lazybear can't find the shot. It's 1-1.
It's kind of the exact opposite. Instead of finishing with 1 second, we finished with 1 minute and 57 seconds. And I think, yes, Lazybear just caught on to it with a few seconds left in the countdown. But at that point, you're thinking, okay, maybe I'm going to wait for someone to do something. Nope, it's all already done. OpiWrites answers right back.
It looked like what happened was Lazybear saw it and was like trying to decide who to shoot, and then went, it's still 2 minutes. I can just watch them both.
Yeah, that's probably right. And then I'm going to catch them on something tiny, right? Maybe I'm just going to wait for one of them to talk. Who knows? But that's the power of finishing that quickly.
Not a mistake he'll make again, I'm sure. Lazybear on the spy side, OpiWrites on the sniper in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
And that's going to really help your confidence, I think. You're sitting there thinking, you know what? It was a really close first game, really well played. And I answered back with a lot of aggression. So I'd rather that be the second game than the first, put it that way.
Agreed. And Lazybear, once again, with a nice, slow, measured start in, again, stark contrast to every other player tonight.
Well, Lazybear's use of the clock is definitely one of the things that sets them apart. They're capable of rushes, but the pacing is just really solid. It often looks like they're idling in the first minute or two of games, and you think, well, they're going to have trouble finishing. But very often, they just get there anyway. They just use the first half of the game to size the party up, and then make very good decisions thereafter.
Seduction target's still not in a particularly nice position, but the double agent drops in to say hi, so we do have that available. Lots of people out of conversation, though, so unlikely we're going to pull the trigger on that.
Yeah, it would be the only real conversation. Although last time that happened, Opie figured it out and still didn't win.
This is true.
That was basically the best move either sniper made, and it came in a sniper loss.
This is a very slow start from Lazybear. I know you just said it, that he manages to get it done, but I'm still nervous, Trek.
Well, it's still hard, right? So I will say that when you do that, it means that even if you make really good decisions, every second that you let tick off like that, you're going to be a little more at the mercy of the party, a little more at the mercy of the RNG at the end of these games. But this, like Taeyan, has that mission density, has a lot of options, has an indoor time ad, all that stuff by the fireplace. So I would say there's not too much risk yet, but there's definitely going to be at some point. Sure feels like we're leaning into a frame, though.
Yeah. Minute and 50 seconds gone already. Less than that left in the game. We're to windows. This might be a time ad. It's not a time ad. Just going over to start the first flirt, or at least it looked like we were. Decides to just walk on by out to another window. And it is a time ad. A white time ad, but a time ad nonetheless.
A white time ad, and actually I will say, I can say this because I just complimented his decision-making in general. A little off on that one because it does create a minute beep right afterwards.
Yeah, that is true.
Fine if you hit a green, obviously, but if you hit a white, it's doubly bad now.
Well, back to the bar we go for the first bit of progress all game long with a minute and 30 left to play, including a time ad. Just delegating and walking away. Really slow, really measured, and I hate it right now because I'm worried you're not going to finish, man.
Yeah, I'm a little worried too, but you could time ad again. And again, it is Redwoods.
Well, here's the contact coming off. Pretty good one, too. Just one or two lowlights available. Picks up two.
You can't literally split on a white test, but that's as close as you can get.
In conversation with the seduction target now. Ready to pick up this first flirt with 45 seconds left in the game.
Don't even bother. Don't even do it. It would just be for lulz.
I kind of want him to just red test it right now.
Honestly, that makes perfect sense. Definitely, it makes more sense than a white or a green, I'll say that much.
The beep beeps have begun. Delegate has expired.
We're going to cram into this bar to try to frame someone, but we're not going to get it offered in time, which means there's going to be no overtime, obviously. So it has to happen before 10 seconds. We're going to have to demand.
And he does. It doesn't matter. We're still under 10 seconds.
Yep, it still doesn't work. Unfortunately, too many people at bar ruins the timing. I don't know if we were going to get a shot off anyway, but in this case, Opie has absolutely no reason to shoot without the beeps, and they're not coming.
Ow!
All right.
That I didn't like that one.
Tobo doesn't like it when things don't happen, people, which is why he loved that previous set so much. All right. Well, you know what? You've sold it, though. You've sold it. You've said, I'm willing to frame. I'm willing to time out. And Opie answers with a hold on Redwoods. And that is exactly as hard as it sounds sometimes. Yeah, that's a really good hold.
Too many trees, man.
Too many trees.
Opie back on the spy side once more with a lead this time around. If he can pull out something like he did last time, he's going to be ahead going into the second map. Lazybear sniping to keep things tied up in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
And Opie now with a chance to justify this doubled venue pick, going up 3-1 if he can win another spy game.
Pretty quick start this time around. Once again from OpiWrites into the red bookcase with his seduction target. Picks up a pair of inspects at the same time, so lots and lots of progress.
And we're in a microfilm.
And green test microfilm transfer.
And it is not seen because, well, you know why.
Because trees.
Because trees.
So that's a huge amount of progress to open up the game for OpiWrites. Fake contact. Alone in conversation with one other innocent. That lets off a big low light on the
You want to be seen here. You want to be seen here. You want to be seen here because that... Yes. You want the sniper to see because that is such a strong fake in the sense of low light fishing. Like, you are really committing. You're really saying, come on. If you ever wanted to low light someone for a fake, this is the one you've got to do it. And he did. I don't know if he knows, but knowing Opie, a timeout's pretty unlikely anyway. The question is, what kind of things can you do as a low light that cause you to die anyway?
Well, transfer's on there.
A little bit, yeah.
Purloin's on there.
White or red test transfer, if it's being looked at. Although, why would you look at a low light? Green, though, I would say green transfer. It basically doesn't matter as a low light. You're just going to get away with that.
Yeah, I think that is correct. In an innocent conversation right now, Opie not really playing like he's low lit.
No, but he's still got plenty of time, and just knowing Opie, I'm not too worried about running out of time. And in the end, I think he's probably going to get to countdown because it's pretty much what he does.
Considering how fast he went last time, yeah. Right now, just swiveling around, trying to find his next spot.
And we're still earning this low light now.
And it's going to be the watch check in front of the fire, a green time ad.
And I don't think we were even on screen there. The tree was blocking us there the whole time. Not that it would matter when we're already low lit. Good choice, though. He's going to need that time.
Yeah. I think Opie's just not convinced he's low lit and just is still trying to fish a little bit.
Yeah, maybe not sure, but also knows that as long as he hits it, he's going to be all right. In this case, though, you got to imagine, obviously, Microhome's going to finish. Question is the fourth mission going to be contact, as we might expect, or is it going to be something like bug? Can we go silent? Is that the power of the microfilm here?
Well, we're in conversation with the double agent, and the conversations are looking pretty good. It's going to be hard not to take this, and indeed, Opie does pick up the contact for, I think, just the one low light.
It's a bit of a truism in the SpyParty community that when you hear two banana breads, the second one is the real one, and it holds true here.
Into the blue bookcase we go. For obvious reasons, not even being watched at all. It's a green test anyways, so it doesn't matter.
We are a low light getting a green microfilm behind a tree. That's so invisible, it's like it didn't even literally happen.
There's the bug on the way through as well. Into statues to finish. The okay.
Oh, brought back up for late statue visits, possible inspects complete.
I don't think it's going to be enough.
No,
there's the mission win countdown. Lazybear almost found a way to pull this back. Might have been worry about the bug, maybe saw a little bit of something that he wasn't quite sure about, but unfortunately just a little bit too late, and Opie goes up by 3-1 coming out of Redwoods.
We do see this sometimes from snipers who take behavioral or soft lowlights. They'll say, if certain things happen, especially around the end of the game, I'll bring someone back up, right? Maybe I'll take a soft lowlight in Courtyard, but if they go to statues afterwards, then I won't. The question is, what do you miss while they're lowlight? In this case, you miss a microfilm, but more importantly, you miss the bug. And when you bring them back up at the end like that, it's a good fail-safe, unless they're literally finishing when you do it. So OpiWrites absolutely sequencing his missions in the best possible way to take advantage of the lowlight.
Absolutely. You'll love to see it. And now we go somewhere even a little bit less predictable. We're going to balcony. It's going to be Lazybear opening things up on the spy side. Opie on the sniper in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
And it's a really strong start from Opie, but anything can happen on balcony, and usually does, as they say.
It's very true.
51%
51% on the first flirt, though. That could be big. If you can hit that 3 green game, it's almost impossible to die for it. That's 2 greens down.
2 down, and 1 more would be very, very tough. And yeah, my stats say that 63% of the time on balcony, anything happens.
Good stats.
Great stats, yeah. Everything doesn't happen nearly as often, though. But anything happens basically every time.
Doesn't hit the 3rd green. It's a white test on the 2nd, up to 85%, but the green on the contact is probably the most important one, especially considering that that last flirt came out with still 1:15 left to play, so it should still be 30 seconds left on the clock by the time the cooldown happens.
If we'd greened that, we would have finished a balcony game without bug in 40 seconds, basically, because we talked immediately on that first flirt and then immediately after the cooldown timer, which means we could still finish before we get to the very end of the game with 1 more flirt if the seduction target doesn't move, which they haven't, and neither have we. Apparently, the seduction is going very, very well because these two are still very close to each other.
Yeah, that's nuts.
It's a little nuts. It's a little nuts.
There's the cooldown. There's the flirt. There's the safety flickering for a second there. No shot yet. 3 seconds. Does he take it? No, Lazybear. It's just barely enough.
Just enough, but it really looks like he was considering it. And why wouldn't he? Because we're under 30 seconds there, and we know they have the talks, right? Even if that's not their seduction target, people have come and gone. So there's a couple other people you might have been able to flirt pair there, assuming a green or 2, where they still might have finished. Really looks like Opie was very close to shooting there. But I think Lazybear getting that first flirt so fast and hitting the additional flirts so close after the cooldown timers was probably just enough to push it over the edge.
I think so. And, like, here's how close that was. Lazybear did a talk between the 2nd and 3rd flirts. Probably it was just his turn to talk, and he did. But that might have been what tipped the balance.
Yeah, it obviously didn't take much. You could feel that razor-thin balcony margin coming into play. But look, that's what we all signed up for up here.
And Lazybear comes out ahead of it this time around. OpiWrites' turn under the gun in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
We are across from our seduction target, and that's going to change our plans a lot. We either probably don't want to flirt here, we want to idle and get some credit for it, maybe even a low light, like we already did, or we want to red flirt them.
Yeah, it's not a good position to open the game in.
If you flirt anyway, you kind of need to hit the green to make it like a close white. And that's a risk you can take, and you can do that. And that can be very powerful because you're not going to be paired with them then. But you have to hit the green if you go for normal flirt.
Red.
Contact coming off early. It is a green test. The bug at the end to try to steal the game, but Lazybear is on top of it. And we're tied 3-3.
Little tap on the ambassador, and the sniper's got a little tap for the spy. A little more violent, though. And that's a really quick game. That actually, you see how quick that game was? That's actually how fast Lazybear almost came to finishing in the previous game without Bug, just to give you an idea. This is much more like the kind of pacing you see in a Bug game, certainly. We're just betting on the timing. We're just betting on distraction from the BB, but notice that Lazybear does not flinch, does not budge. He knows the kind of things that happen in the wake of the banana bread.
Yeah, that was a nice little shot. And now, even though he went down on the first venue, he's tied it back up on the second, into the spy side once more, this time as Smallman. In 3, 2, 1, playing it.
And I think that Bug might have happened either way, but it became more likely when we got settled across from our seduction target like we were talking about earlier.
Oh no, seduction target bails off of the flirt.
Yeah, that's rough. That's rough indeed. And now you wonder if it's going to be the same sort of thing. If the flirt doesn't go well against a good sniper on balcony, do you just lean into trying to get a low light, a sieve shot, a bug? Which one's it going to be? Or are we going to try to finish anyway, which we can do because our seduction targets just come back to us with 130?
We shall see. It might have to be 2 greens at this point.
Well, he almost had it last time.
That is true. We don't have the contact yet either. He's not going for it. There's no flirts.
I mean, you can bank on that if you're Lazybear. Lazybear, last I checked, was something like top 5 or top 6 in all of the SCL this season in AT rate. He's up around 55%, and only about a dozen people are even over 50. So you can do that, and it can win you a heck of a lot of balcony games.
Well, didn't go for it this time. Now that the double agent's back in, everyone else has bailed. I think he has to take it now. All right. One more person to enter conversation. 35 seconds. There it is. We need this contact. Come on. There it is. It's green.
It frames nobody. Just the ambassador is talking, so we know it's green, presumably. And look at this. There are a couple low lights. No big suspects. Opie is really just kind of chilling. He's not zoomed in. It feels like he does not want to shoot here. He's holding.
Nobody talked. Nobody talked coming into the last 10 seconds.
That's huge now.
I think Lazybear has this. The panic bug at the end. The shot comes off and Opie picks it up. The fact that he held that shot for as long as he did is super impressive.
Look at this. Smallman going for the bug, trying to hide behind the 2 taller gentlemen. And I think he was going to shoot for it anyway when overtime hit, but it was made a lot easier when he zoomed in and saw the hand snap back in front. I'm sure Lazybear's all over it with the replay. Boop, just real fast. The hand snapbacks are very, very quick. I don't think he needed it anyway, but it made the shot, I'm sure, a little easier. It's nice to shoot and know you're right.
Indeed. And now, with OpiWrites on the spy and Lazybear on the sniper, we have a chance to get that 3-1 right back again to finish out balcony in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
He's in okay shape even if he loses this, but yeah, it would be a shame to give that Redwoods advantage back because those are some really, really well-played games. Again, the only loss was that really well-played Lazybear game with 1 second left in the first one. OpiWrites showing some real strength here at the end of the season.
Once again, across from the seduction target, not where you want to be, especially coming out of a window like that. I think that was a conscious decision. There's the contact coming off. It was a white test, though. And OpiWrites, the only one in a talk animation at the time. It's a green purloin! The bug is off! Does Lazybear notice?
There were rejects in front of us, too, so we've already got a chain going. Let's see if it gets any longer. It does.
Little shake from Lazybear. Oh, no.
Another. We're up to like 4 or 5 here already. And Lazybear's shaking. He's thinking, really? Come on.
This is impossible. There's the take. There's the fade.
Who's
the shot gonna be?
What?
He somehow hits it!
What was that? 1 in 5? 1 in 4, maybe? It's got to be one of them. Who's it going to be? You're going to think maybe not the first, probably not the last, but after that, all right. I normally wouldn't do this, but I have to ask, Lazybear, please walk us through your frustrated mindset there.
So he didn't tell me he put it on, right? Like Purloin. So I spam started the game because I didn't want to show him that I knew, because I
Nice.
wanted to kind of force it. And then I wasn't sure, maybe Disney rejected, then Pearls rejected, then Alice rejected, then Oprah rejected. And I felt like Oprah's reject was the most suspect out of all of them. That's like the timing you get if you do the skill check right away. And that was basically the basis of the shot, because I had nothing else to.
Yeah, fair. What would you gauge was your confidence, just as a percentage? How likely did you think you were right? Because you must know it's at that point there's too many people. It's probably below 50%. And you're just trying to take your best shot. What did you think? How likely do you think you were to get that right?
As weird as it is to say, I felt good about Oprah, but as good as you can with like 5 rejects, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well done. Wow. That's a big green for Opie too, and he got exactly what he wanted afterwards. But it is still a roll of the dice, certainly. The green not as surprising though. By the way, I mentioned Lazybear's 55% AT rate earlier. OpiWrites one of the few players higher, 58%, actually battling it out for the SCL lead. And it should have won him a balcony game there, but it didn't, and we're all tied up.
What a shot. Good God. We're tied at 4. Going into the ballroom, it's Lazybear on the spy side, OpiWrites on the sniper in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
There are so few people on balcony that your odds of guessing the Purloin right are actually very close to your odds of just shooting a random person when the game started. That's a wild one. I don't think I've ever seen anything like that in competitive play.
Yeah, that was something. Lazybear picks up the first flirt for 34%. Nice close white. And the double agent steps into conversation as well. So we might be able to make something of that. And a request for a drink.
Are we really going to Purloin here? It's just late enough to not be in the initial chaos, but it's early enough that they might not be looking for it as much.
No, just an innocent.
No,
drink.
we're just thirsty. That's
just
all it is.
Thirsty.
No, not quite. And it's another difficult. Hits the green again. There are those AT rates I keep talking about.
That's huge. Unfortunately, though, Seduction Target bails on us, but that's a trade you'll take every day of the week.
It is indeed, but the ATs, they can't help you if the Seduction Target leaves in the middle of them.
There's the contact coming off. Banana split off to the green bookcase. Gets low lit for it. It was just that fast.
It was that quick, and there was a bit of a reaction taking the low light on the far side of the statues from OpiWrites, and by the time he got back, it just looked, because again, that's kind of a fast character. Don't let the cane fool you. He is a spy, after all. That's for show, mostly, I'm sure. He's so fast that he got over to the other side of the venue quick enough that OpiWrites assumes, quite reasonably, could not have been in conversation.
It is so hard to get a low light off of a banana split at this level. It might have been a pathing low light, but man, oh man, this is huge.
Yeah, very, very big. Very big. And there's a lot of highlights, too. So this game is looking really, really rough right now. We're going to have to find something very dramatic to pull this back. And again, we have that difficult print, too. This would be powerful. We'd be in a pretty good shape even without the low light.
Yeah, it's true. Like, even without the low light,
you'd say this is a good position for the spy, yeah.
Very good position.
Yeah.
He's got the difficult print. He's got a good contact. He's got 84% on the flirt with just over a minute to play. Into center statues we go. This is huge.
But a late statue visit. Remember, Lazybear brought him up for a late statue visit after a low light, too.
It's a white first inspect, though, so it's going to be tight trying to get these done. A white second inspect, we might not be able to go for it. He does not go for it, so not able to get the third inspect.
Whoa!
I think OP knew what just happened there.
Brings him back up and takes the shot. It's very similar to what Lazybear did on Redwoods, but instead of hesitating and letting the mission win go by, takes the shot and the lead.
Okay, so what caused him to take that shot? Because
Center statue, fingerprint late in the game. And the fact that he stutter steps to go again, that's exactly the kind of thing that happens when you try to get a print off center statues, right? Because if you don't hit a bunch of greens, you are not going to get that done. So if you are suspecting someone for that center statue fingerprint and they find an excuse to go right back to statues somehow, that is particularly suspect.
All right. Well, it certainly worked out.
I mean, that is a really good spy game from Lazybear, and somehow an even better sniper game from Opie. That was just a tremendous game on both sides.
That was incredibly impressive. And now Opie is on the spy side looking for a chance to regain that lead in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
This is just such a well-played match so far. I'm really enjoying this.
It's an opening on statues next to the amber, but not too close. Pretty good synchronization with the ambassador as well, so that looks relatively AI-like if you're paying a lot of attention to it.
There's a little subconscious thing there, too. I've heard people say that they low-lit a spy or something because they sipped at the exact same time as an AI next to them or something like that, and they just liked it, and they thought, it just seemed like, oh, these two are in sync. They're running on the same cycle or something. I don't know if there's any actual empirical reason for it, but it does kind of tend to stand out.
So, relatively slow start after the statue visit. Innocent conversation, now at a painting. OpiWrites obviously knows where he's going next. We've got this nice little conversation here with the seduction target and the ambassador, who he gets bugged through the seduction target, by the way.
Wow. And we haven't even seduced them yet, and they're already on our side.
There's the first flirt coming off for 51%. Also in conversation with the double agent. What a bug that was.
Yeah, really, really solid.
White purloin, though. White purloin. Alarm bells. Alert, alert. It's a white purloin.
That's
Here
rough.
come the low lights.
But if we're waiting for a reason to shoot at the end, we already have the bug.
We already have the bug, but we don't have the last inspect. And we don't have the contact either. We could... Silent game might be the way to do this. Risk the statue, don't take the contact.
But if we suspect the purloin, and you're worried, at that point you're thinking, if there's a silent game, what could I have missed? And bug is exactly the kind of thing you could have missed, especially against Opie, whose love of bug is well known. So which is more dangerous? What do you think? Statues or contact? That's the question.
It's down to 2. It's a 50-50. It's us or Wheels at this point.
And we need to be near Wills again at some point anyway, because we still only have half of that flirt done.
Under a minute to play. Do we finish or do we frame? That is the question.
Well, it is a white test too, so we probably don't have a great sense of who else might be in this pool. In fact, for all we know, we're going to get shot for doing basically anything other than talking at this point.
Double agent joins conversation. It's
Wheels.
a terrible time for it. Wheels goes to center statue.
Wow.
OpiWrites follows the side statue.
Are we going to try to flirt and then inspect?
It's flirt inspect. The flirt's done. Here's the inspect. There's no shot yet. He's still got time.
Still got time. A few more seconds.
Down.
Thinking about
5 seconds. Moves to center statue. He's thinking about it, but there's no shot. And OpiWrites somehow manages to get it done. It's 6-4.
I said our seduction target gave us an assist when we hadn't even started seducing them yet by kind of blocking that bug a little bit, and they do it again. They go to center statue so we can get 2 missions done at once, and one of the other purloin suspects, ostensibly, at least goes to statue so that Lazybear's thinking, instead of thinking one of my suspects is finishing, he might be thinking 2 of them are, and you're more likely to want to hold in that position, perhaps, than if just one is. Either way, we somehow survive that 2 hardtail game on Ballroom.
I can't believe any of that. I can't believe Wheels didn't die. I can't believe Wheels went there at all.
Yeah.
But that puts OpiWrites on match point. It's 6-4. As we head into High Rise, Lazybear needs both of these to tie this match at 6. OpiWrites just needs one to secure the win. Opie starts on the sniper side in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Opie's got at least a marble now, and he's got 2 chances on High Rise to hand Lazybear his first and only loss of the Platinum regular season.
Starting with a flirt from across the conversation. You've got plenty of time on this venue.
Purloin is on instead of Fingerprint. We are seeing this more and more on High Rise. And obviously even on Balcony, as we saw earlier.
Yeah, if you can get a big old reject chain going, it can be really, really good.
Well, unfortunately, everyone else is taking drinks. Only the Spy, I think, is rejected so far. Red Dress and Cowboy have both taken already.
Banana bread.
There's the fake contact coming off.
And only one conversation could have a reel. It's the other one. The double agent is out of conversation. The SDA was in the front one. But I don't see any light changes coming out just yet.
That was a bold move, taking a fake contact with the double agent out of conversation. Double agent now enters conversation with Lazybear. 62% on the flirt at this point.
Well, if we get a
There's
second...
the real contact.
Banana bread.
Once again, the second one is real.
No, it wasn't real because the double agent bailed on us.
And there come
The
the highlights.
highlights come off anyways.
Well, you can't be sure there, right? That's very hard. The sniper has to be really on that. I think their highlights saying that might have taken.
Oh man, this is bad. It's
Yeah,
not good. It's bad and not good.
It is both bad and not good simultaneously, yes. This is also not good.
It's a white purloin.
That fade's
well-
not visible, though. That fade is just straight up not visible.
No, but also white purloin. It's 99% of the flirt.
Okay, was this game custom designed to physically hurt you? This is the Tobo haters game right here. Lazybear, what have you got against my co-caster? My God. Ugh. Trying to injure him. Are you going to go on the DL after this? My God.
It's 1:10 left to play. We still
still a
have
shot.
plenty of time for this flirt, is the funny thing.
And if OpiWrites says, don't worry, I put you on the 99%, that's why I haven't shot yet, I don't think I'd believe
This
them.
stuck in target bails. I swear to God.
If that happens, I'm prepared to cast the rest of this myself. Don't worry. I can cast the final game while you're being rushed to the hospital.
There's the flirt. Flirt is done. It happened. We got there. Oh my God, he bails right after. It
But we still
almost
need
happened.
our
We
third
still
contact
have
attempt.
contact.
And we need to switch conversations for it, which is actually a little worse too. We're going to enter with
Oh,
30
yeah.
seconds less, and then we're going to talk or something. Third BB, that's pretty rough, but we have no other choice. We have to try. We can
Good
spin
redirect.
around. We can do donuts
bread.
instead first.
But that was a really fast contact. Wait a second. Opie's not
This
shooting.
is not happening. This is
Opie's
not happening.
shooting. He's not taking the shot. Lazybear stays alive.
The third BB. That's what I said earlier, right? The third BB is always the real one. You know, in games where there's actually somehow 3 BBs on High Rise. We leave the conversation, do a bunch of donuts, enter an immediately green, and we win on a white purloin on High Rise. I take back everything I said about this being a super well-played match, by the way. It was really well
Banana
played
bread.
until this particular game where I feel like both players were playing a little below their normal skill level. But that's fair. 1 out of 12 ain't bad.
This is top level mind games track. You don't
Top
even know.
level. Top level.
He did
yes.
not expect this BB, okay? I had 2, remember? Had 2 BBs, he didn't expect it.
The mind games are so far beyond me that they look like bad play. That's how good they are. I think that's what it is. Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, Lazybear, one more game on the sniper side, no less, on High Rise. It'll be another draw. It won't be a nice clean win, but technically we'd still be undefeated if he can pull this out.
One game remains. If Opie can find a win here, he successfully knocks Lazybear off of his high horse. All it takes is a single marble Just one more game in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
I'm glad the animal mixed metaphors have rubbed off on you. We now have a bear riding a horse. Excellent. This cast just got better somehow.
I didn't even try.
I know. That's why it's
sorry.
so good. I was positive that when I said it, you were not going to realize until I said it. OpiWrites has a real chance here, though. Try to steal this little win at the end. Again, granted, there'll be something like 5 draws, I think, and a forfeit from Yeesh, but they did beat Yeesh 7-2 before he dropped, so this will still be a pretty darn well-earned undefeated season at a very high level against very tough competition, as we've seen tonight.
Seduction target steps in the conversation. It's not a good position. 19% off the first flirt. That is very not good. We had the double agent for a while as well, but double agent has officially bailed on us. So it's not the start OpiWrites was looking for.
Lazybear says, cry me a river.
Back into conversation we go with the seduction target once more. This one's green. This one's close. 70% is where it stands, and that saves the flirt for OpiWrites.
Yeah, now even a moderately close white should do it, and if you're green, you're going to be just fine from almost anywhere. That definitely saves that first week flirt.
Question right now is, where's that last mission going to come from? Double Agent rejoins the conversation once more, but there are a few people who are out and about. And this conversation has emptied out very quickly.
Yeah, we are all alone, and we need that suction target to settle near us again. That would be nice.
Is it going to happen? It does happen. That should still be in range for the white. It doesn't matter. He hits the green anyways. The flirt is done. Minute and 45 seconds left to play.
Yeah, well, the nice thing is, obviously, you don't necessarily have to worry about flirt pairing mattering too much, but if you are not, there's no way you're flirt paired here with Seek, is the nice thing, at least, if Lazybear is trying to do that at all.
There's the contact. Bit of bouncing off of the ambassador there. No bug attempted, which is probably good, but it is center statues. We've got the contact. We've got the flirt. Center statues could be it. Does Lazybear take the shot? He does take the shot, and the undefeated season actually stays alive.
Yep. It's going to go down as a 5-0-5 because of the Yeesh forfeit, 4-0-5, and actually played matches, but again, did play Yeesh beforehand. That is a heck of a season from Lazybear. It's a tough draw at the end for OpiWrites, and that was indeed all he wrote. But he did play, honestly, one of the better matches I've seen all season. Probably should have come away with the win, but we all know how easy that is. Sometimes you win some, sometimes you lose some. They're so marginal, but just an unbelievably well-played set on both sides.